My son, Shaquan Lamar Brown, attended Dobbins High School. He was considered as one of the #1 architects in the city of Philadelphia, and he won several awards for his architectural design. He worked under a teacher named Abona. We called him Abona. And Shaquan also played the drums for me. I had a group called Spirit Sankofa Performing Arts Company, which I developed as a dance teacher for the Pan-African Studies Community Education Program at Temple University, which operates under the auspices of the Department of African American Studies under Malefi Asante. I don't know if they still call that department that today in 2022. But back in 1999, before I graduated from Temple and went to teach at Virginia State, that's what it was called. So at the time, my son was like 13 years old, and we had a dance company that I made up from the children that were attending, that lived in the neighborhood of Gladfelter Hall at Temple University. And these children used to come in and look for quarters and dimes in the seat. I found out later, because they were hungry, they were poor. Well, I started to teach dance to them and also started performing with them. And my son became a part of that, Shaquan. And his brother, Damon, also became a part of that. And Damon performed with his friend Manzi in the company. They didn't want to drum, they didn't want to dance, so they kind of came in as warriors. So in the beginning, we would come in marching to the drums, and Damon and Manzi would carry the arrows and the spears as if they were warriors protecting the community. So this is a way that I've raised my children to be aware of the African culture and their African centeredness. And so this is how I've raised my children to be a part of that. And so my son, Shaquan, he was one heck of a drummer. And we lived in West Philly, around 54th and Baltimore, for years. And then I decided to move to Broadon in Girard at the Regency. It was called the Regency Hotel. And so me and my two boys lived on, we lived there. And so I would go over to teach dance at William Penn High School. And my son would come with me as a drummer. And so Shaquan was such a performer that all the girls loved him. So my son Shaquan would come out on stage, because we did various performances, backtracking a little bit, the kids that I took from the projects from behind Temple and turned them into professional dancers where they got paid. Now these children no longer had to look under pillows for quarters, because I would get gigs that I would charge people because they were that good, and the money I charged I gave to them, so they would have money. And so Shaquan was such a performer. We used to do things like young audiences, and we performed at Dreco, we performed at the International House, we performed at the Painted Bride, we performed all these different places. I'm talking about 1990s. We now in 2022, but we performed all of these different places. And Shaquan used to come out when it was his turn. He would have his djembe strapped around his shoulder and his neck. I don't know who taught him how to do that. I believe it was Baba Crowder who taught him how to do that. Baba Crowder was one of our master drummers. He's the founder of Kula Mele. And Shaquan would come out swinging his drum around. Like, he would come out, first, the way I had to set up, the drum sound would come from off stage. So you hear the djembe, and that would be my son hitting the drums, okay? Now, he would never became a master drummer, but he was pretty good. And then he would take that drum and come out on the stage, and he be swinging the drum. The drum be swinging while he's turning, and the drum is swinging while he's turning. And the girls would just go mad because my son was a good looking young man. And the girls would just go mad. They started screaming when they saw him. When he came out swinging that drum. And the girls would start screaming. Even the girls, when we went up, like out of our community, I forget the name of that school. I'll never forget those girls. They were all white. It was a white school we went to. And my son came out on that stage and with that drum, swinging that drum. And the girls, they would all just scream, for my son Shaquan, because he was so handsome and he was so good looking. He'd come out there, he'd play them drums, and then he would bend. They taught him. We had, because he had the best teachers. He had Doc Gibbs, he had Bobby Crowder, he had Quasi, he had Wookie, he had, of course, Bobby Crowder. He had all of the, he had all of the, I used to hang out with the best of the best in Philadelphia as far as African dance. So my son was influenced by them all, because I was, with Arthur Hall, and, just the different major groups in Philly. I didn't dance with Arthur Hall, but I danced with the people who were first generation Arthur Hall, like Nana Karatama, Darryl Birdie, Rita Smith, Carol. Oh God, I can't remember. Carol. Carol. I can't remember her last name. I was just influenced by a lot of people in the African culture, and my son was a part of that.
The first time ever I saw your face, till the end of time, my love. The first time ever I saw your face, your face, your face, your face.
My name is Malika Lovelace. I'm a community activist and youth advocate here in the city of Philadelphia. When I was a little girl in West Philly, when there was about to be a shooting, the guys would run down the street and tell everybody to go in the house. In the 90s, they used to shoot at night, and we used to duck and take cover and be scared. In the early 2000s, I witnessed my first daylight automatic gun shooting right 2 doors down from my house with faces that I knew, and I knew that they knew each other just as well, just as long as I knew them, which was all our lives in West Philly. And that's when I knew that I had to become a part of a solution to help us like deter and reduce the amount of violence in the city. 20 years working with youth in the city of Philadelphia, lots of blessings, lots of people that would, I have a lot of success stories, but I lost 30 kids in 3 years to murder. And that's when I knew it just gotten way too out of control. They're no longer fighting for territory or blocks or product, but more of a hashtag, internet territory, connecting themselves for no other reason but to destroy our community.
Take your time.
Sorry, for a moment, just mention that again, just thinking about all the lives all the futures and infinite possibilities. One of the things that in my advocacy, I would tell the boys that I love, I would fall in love with these energies, because I would see the babies in them, the child that they were, that the world and the media is trying to describe as monsters, but they're really just children needing the deficits of their childhood to be met, and some of them just never had the information or any other influence other than the results of living in the generation of the drug culture that we're in. Like, there are generations in, aunts and uncles and grandfathers now incarcerated, dead to gun violence, and that's what they know. They're not aware of the other options. And one of the first things I tell them is that they have infinite possibilities as long as they stay alive. To your intense intervention prevention programming, except for I would insist on it be a more in-home activity, where there would be in-home visits, where we're not just checking on the child and the child's progress, but the child support system. A program that would address the mother's unemployment, drug addiction, a program that would address the child's lack of good food in the home, the food desert that they live in, bringing produce to the home, changing the nutrition, but it'd be so it'd have to be a small program focused on a small area where it'd be the entire home and everyone in that home, so that we could strengthen this one block at a time. It would really go like that. One house, one block, starting with one youth that's troubled and affecting, and who is their support system, supporting them and bringing everybody out of this mindset that they're just surviving. Because once they stop surviving, they can start to really strive and really see a different way. But when you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring and you don't have a plan, you don't mind throwing tomorrow away.
long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. If you get steep or if you get down, Jack's gonna call in the morning, baby. And check the cupboard for your daddy's gun. Red sun rises like an early warning. The Lord's gonna come for your firstborn son. His hair's on fire and his heart is burning. So go to the river where the water runs. Wash him deep where the tides are turning. If you fall, if you fall, hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. The wind will chase you in a pale moonlight. Drunk into the night, day of summer. Drive your son like a railroad spine into the water, let it fall him under. Though you lift him, let him drown alive. The good Lord speaks like a rolling thunder. Let that fever make the water rise. Let the ooh, baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way, a long, long, long way. Hold my hand. Ooh, baby, it's a long way down, a long way down.
My name is Debbie Fortune Workman, mother of Lonnie Workman and Victor Fortune Workman. And I'm here to talk about both of my sons being murdered here in Philadelphia, 2012, and the other one, 2022. Lonnie was the sunshine of everybody. Always wanted to make everybody laugh and giggle. Him and his brother was little daredevils. He was an animal lover, and he was a ladies' man. His nickname was given to him by family and friends, Freckles, Lonnie the Lover, and Lonnie was a people's person. He would make everybody smile and laugh. He didn't really like to see too many people sad or not happy. He catered to his ladies, whether or not you was just someone living in the neighborhood, somebody that he crossed paths with. He catered to you. Whether or not you was in a relationship with a man, he didn't care. But he kept it professional, and he was just himself. He loved to work with his hands. He did home improvements for anyone and anybody. Basically, a lot of times he did work and never charged people. He started working with a lot of the young boys that was out on the street, in which both my boys have, had problems and been incarcerated. Came home and made a positive turnaround and was able to give back to the community. Victor, oh, baby boy. Nickname, everybody gave him money. He loved money, from coins on to bills. He used to love torturing his siblings, but his siblings knew how to get back at him and his brother real well. Both of them are sons, fathers. They both have kids. All Victor's daughter is grown. Lonnie have grown children, and he has some that's still under 18. I'm a Both of the boys love playing football in their younger years. They played chess. They both was animal lovers, dog lovers, Rockwellers, and Doberman in the pits. They would love to train them and just, just keep them around. Um, Lonnie was more, well, Victor a little bit too, the snake lovers. They loved all different types of animals, from dogs to snakes to birds, all kinds of fish. So half the time, and he turned my house into an animal shelter. Whether or not it was stray ones or ones that they actually, ended up getting and would just love them to death. Um, the biggest thing that I miss right now, I can't talk to my boys. I can't get my hugs no more. And when I'm having a bad day or just not feeling good, I miss my son's back massages. And Lonnie used to give some dynamite back massages. Not just to me, a whole lot of lady friends that he came in the path would love his back massages. Victor, I could always, he loved to cook. And that's something that I really miss. Days that I don't feel like going in that kitchen. Days I just want to lounge around and I'm sitting and waiting for the smell to start circulating through the house. Then I realize, okay, Victor's not here, so I got to get up and end up cooking. I used to love cooking. As time went on, when you have kids that love cooking, it like basically take you away from it to a certain point. This time of the year, Lonnie would have his little grill and everything, because he always liked to grill the turkey. Victor would be doing the turkey and stuff in the oven with all of the trimming, and always wanted to try doing his experiments with other things. So I think for myself and his sisters, and right along with his nieces and nephews and their kids, it's going to be hard over the holidays. And it's been for quite some time. From 2012 all the way up to now. Before, we always had Victor to fill in the pieces with Lonnie being gone. Now, with both of them being gone, it leaves an empty void in everybody's lives. The kids, nieces, nephews, and everybody, they don't have nobody that they can go and talk to no more, hang out with, sit and chit chat, play chess, or whatever they like to do. And they basically would spend a lot of time and energy focusing on their kids or their nieces and nephews, and even some of the cousins. Nobody's perfect, but all rolled up in one. They was my babies.
Probably heard I was broke from a broke nigga. Probably heard I'm up from a. I don't know what you know, I ain't running from no. Let's go. These bitches be waiting in line at the shows. I don't want f with her, let my bro here. No, I'm the first one to come out of Charlotte. Okay, you know I put on for that phone. That phone. About to buy a new Lambo, let's go nigga. Tired of selling them zips, get a boat nigga. Me and Di used to post at the stove. No cap. Gucci man in 06. Swing my dough nigga. Yeah. I told her I keep her invoices. Why he rich and he keep wearing forces? Yeah. These niggas, they lactose intolerant. How about you? I'm married to cheese, no divorce. You can't get a ring if you want. I pull up with a so thick, think I'm Norbit. Slamming her like a Monil. She want money for pooch, bitch, no deal. No, you can bet if I focus a freebie. Freebie, pay VIP just to see me. I'm a sharky and shrimp, peewee, shrimp. Go rap, I spit on the CD. Probably heard I was broke from a broke nigga. Probably heard I'm up from a. I don't know what you know, I ain't running from no. Let's go. These bitches be waiting in line at the shows. I don't want f with her, let my bro here. No, I'm the first.
My name is Curtis Thorpe, Thorpe, and I'm making this video in reference to my son, Tiamo Thorpe, who was killed July 2nd, 2020. I joined a group of men who lost their children, and I didn't even know how sad this was, but the group is growing every week. And I suggested that we make videos about our children who've been taken from us taken from us. It doesn't really make any difference how they were taken. The fact is they were taken from us. And we lament their deaths. I got a couple quick stories that I want to tell you about concerning my son. When my son was born, I was in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, serving in the United States Navy. And I remember getting a telegraph telling me that I was the proud father of a bouncing, I can't remember how many pounds, how many ounces, baby boy. Couldn't have been prouder. I know there's been stories with fathers, they're in the delivery room and they're there to catch the baby when the baby comes out, or they're there cutting the umbilical cord. That wasn't for me. I was serving my country. So I flew back, and I remember holding him in my arms and thinking, wow, this is absolutely amazing. He's my son. And so I left and I came back, and when I came back home, he was a little older, a little more wise. He looked at me strange, and I don't think he really understood that I was dad and what that meant. I wasn't around, so it was hard for him to understand what dad did. So time went on, and there was a time, and I'll never forget this, there was a time that I was left alone, and I was really superly surprised that I was left alone with my own son. Because, women, they don't trust you. And I'll be honest, I wasn't very good at being a dad, so I guess I wouldn't trust me either. So anyway, I was alone with him, and there was a candle burning on the dining room table, and he was in his little walker, and he was bumping around, and so he kept reaching for the candle, and I said, no. And then I would sit back, and he would sit back. As soon as my back hit the back of the chair, he started reaching again. And I go, no. And I sit back, and he sit back. As soon as my back hits, he starts reaching again. And this happened, 20, 30 times. And I was thinking, how am I gonna get this kid to understand that the candle will hurt him? I don't want him to be hurt. And I can hear God say, let him touch it. Wow, let him touch that. That seemed cruel to me, but I didn't see any other way to get him to understand that I didn't want him to touch it. So I leaned back, and he leaned forward, And he reached out and he kept looking at me, and I kept looking at him, and he touched that candle, and he pulled his hand back real fast, and I said, hot. And he said, hot. And we never had a problem with hot again. As a matter of fact, I think I abused it. I told him that things were hot that of course wasn't hot, and I just didn't want him to touch it. And he didn't, so hot was understood. There's so many stories that I can tell you. But I can't tell you anything about being a grandfather because my son was killed. I can't tell you anything about going on vacation with him and with his family because my son was killed. Unfortunately, in this United States, gun violence is at an all-time high. My group every week grows by at least one person, sometimes two or three. And they may not actually be in my group. They might not actually show up to meetings and talk and listen. They might not do that. But on the news, I see them. I see the fathers. I see the mothers. I see the people affected. See, when you kill somebody, you don't just kill that person. You kill a little piece of a lot of other people. Like, for example, by killing my son Tiamo, you killed a piece of me. You killed a piece of his mother. That was her only child. And by the way, that was my only child. You killed a piece of his grandmother's. Now, my mother, that was the first loss that she suffered in the family. But my mother-in-law, that was not her first loss. Her son was killed in his young life. Gun violence is ridiculous. It's killing us. It's killing black people, white people. It doesn't make any difference what your color is, what your age is. It's killing people. And it needs to stop. So my son Tiamo, I love dearly. I miss dearly. He had a lot of friends who talked at his funeral and his memorial service, and they miss him as well. It's sad that death comes to us so quickly and so easily. The man that murdered my son is currently in jail, waiting to be tried, I guess, or plea bargain. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. But that brings no satisfaction to me or his mother or his friends or his girlfriend. It does nothing for us. We can never bring him back. So when you think about grabbing a gun and running out and killing somebody, think twice. And then after that, think a third time, and a fourth and a fifth. And if you can think that many times, that means that person is not threatening you, so there's no need for you to shoot them. If you got that many times to think. Think before you pull the trigger.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid what's up there beyond the